Dino's Workshop.
Now then folks, I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago when I was building them TV cabinets for the daughter, that media centre, and we need to do a backboard on it. Well, what she's decided she wants is something painted exactly the same colour as what the units are, but she wants like a slatted board. Now I've looked at buying slatted boards, and for the size that we want, it's astronomical, to be honest with you. So anyway, what I've done, I've come up with an idea. I'm going to use 6mm MDF as a backing board, and it's going to be basically made into 4 pieces, a bit like this drawing here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. In effect, in this gap here, there's a TV bracket. So when the TV goes on, it'll hide all that anyway. And then what she wants is slats on it. So like a 50mm slat with a 10mm gap, 50mm slat, 10mm gap. So what I've done, I've been working out, and if I've got all my measurements right, I think, as these measurements here I've got written down here, I think them will do what I want it to do. And these kind of, where the boards are joined here, they should go a slat over there to hide the joint. So anyway, like I say, if I've got all my measurements right, that's how it should turn out. I've had this stuff cut at the moment up the big box store. I've had them cut oversized because if you've seen my videos in the past, I mean, they don't cut stuff to size, and I've checked this and it's as much as 5mm out, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim them down to the sizes I want anyway, and then some of the bigger boards here, I've got to cut all my slats out of, all the 50mm slats to the verticals. And then basically all those will be glued and pinned on. The pins that I've got for my nail gun, I can't get small pins. I only wanted sort of 10mm. The smallest I've got is 15mm, and basically I think they're going to go straight through this anyway, because it's 12mm board if you put the two together. So because they're going through the back, I'm thinking of, well, my plan is just to sand off anything that protrudes out the back. I shall wood glue the slats as well, but I did want to put some pins in there. And anyway, so that's the idea. So first of all, I'll cut all my slats, and then we'll see where we go from there. As you can see here, I've cut all my 50mm slats. I think there's about 14 of them. I think 7 on each piece, and then 20, nearly 30 of these, 28 I think. So what I've done, I've sanded the edges up on them, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to sand them all together as a job lot, and then I'm going to give them a coat of undercoat just to make it easier, because you're not going, well, I mean, it's MDF, isn't it, and it just soaks it up on the end grain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it sort of 2 or 3 coats on the end, see how it goes, sanding them off in between, and then what I'll do, I'll make the panels up and then paint the whole job. It's just easier if I think if I do all these ends first, and then I'll do exactly the same with the long ones as well. Right, they've had a coat of acrylic primer, and what I'm going to do, I'll let it dry and then I'll give it a sand off, and then I'll give it another coat, sand off again, and see what it feels like. If it's okay, then I'll turn them over and do exactly the same on the other side. Right, like I mentioned earlier, what I want to do, these strips, I've now painted all the edges. I'm going to stick them on, glue them, but I'm going to stick a pin at either end as well, just to hold them in place. Now, what I've done, I've picked this up from Lidl. I think it was only £1 or £1.99 with 3 foam jobbies on the end, and I'll use it for my wood glue, I think, and give it a go. So anyway, one of them on, which is 2 inches wide, 50mm, 10mm gap, and then another slat. That's the idea. That's first one on. Now what I've got is these 10mm spacers, or 2 5mm, and I'll stick them up every so often. And then hopefully I'll get a consistent gap. Now then, as you can see, like I mentioned about earlier on about me brads being too long, what I'm going to have to do is cut them off. Like I say, it's no big deal. They'll all get in. It's kind of back of the board, so it's no big deal. And it's what it is. But anyway, you can't put 10mm brads in my gun, so I'm stuck with it. It's a bit of a slow process, but we're getting there. And the only brads that you're going to see at the end are these here, down the middle, as I'm putting in. The end ones will be covered by the unit. So, anyway, I'll do a bit of filling on them when I come sand it all up. Hopefully it'll be alright. Right, I put 6 on. One more to go on here, and that's going to have the overhang on it then. So 10mm, which I'll leave 25mm roundabouts, and then hopefully everything works in. And I should keep my 10mm gaps. That's the idea. So let's stick that final one on this panel, and then that one's done. That's the panel done. Another one of these to do, and then the top and bottom one. Now it's time to do the smaller slats, the 500mm ones, top and bottom board. I've measured in here 35mm, which gives me my 10mm gap, and then a 25mm overhang onto the other board. I probably could have made it smaller than that. Probably could have made that 20mm probably. As long as it's going under the other board, it doesn't really matter, does it? Get the first one on, and then my 10mm spacers go back in. Again, these brads should be hidden. Those behind the telly, and these bottom ones behind the unit. That's it. Now that should leave about 35mm. Well, yeah, same as the other. That's probably a mil too big there, and that's bang on. So there's hardly anything in it. What I might end up doing is trimming a little bit off the ends here, so that when I come fit them, I'm making sure they're going where they should be. Now the idea is, I put one of the sideboards on and overlaps that, and gives me my 10mm gap. But what I'm going to do, I mean that's pretty good actually. What I was wondering whether to do is just trim it a little bit off the end, a couple of mil or so that just in case there's any kind of discrepancy on it. And then obviously the other board goes down here and then across the bottom. I'm now going to give each board a coating of this MDF sealer before I start and put the top coats on, and then what I'll do, I shan't use an undercoat as such. I shall put this MDF sealer on, then I'll give it 2 coats of top coat with a sanding in between each one. Right, so it's had the MDF sealer. I've given them a sand down, and now I'm going to give them a coat of this stuff, which is if you watch that media unit build with the flyover, this is that paint, the stuff I had mixed at the big box store, which is like a colour match. This is the kind of job where you want a sprayer set up really, and I have got a sprayer, but it's only a cheap one. I can't remember the make of it. An electric one, and to be fair, it doesn't do too bad a job, but you clean up after, and you've got to be set up for it, because the spray just goes all over the bloody place if you don't got somewhere to spray proper. So it's not just simple really, I suppose, just to spray it. You've got to have the proper setup for it, and I haven't. So the only time I've done any, I've kind of done it outside on the lawn with a big sheet down. We tend to the time of year to be doing that. But I'll be honest with you, I don't fancy painting these, 2 coats of these. It's a bit of a laborious job, but it's got to be done. Anyway, that's first coat on that panel. As soon as it dries, it'll have a rub down, and then they go a second coat on it. I don't know if this is coming across on video, but when you think this has had a coat of MDF sealer and now a coat of paint, I don't know if you can see how it's just soaking into the wood. I'll be honest with you, when I was using this wood, it didn't seem the best. It seemed, I don't know, it did look as if it was porous. Anyway, I've given it a coat of, like say, MDF sealer, now a coat of paint, and it's just soaking into it. This might take probably 3 coats of top coat. Perhaps I should have given it 2 coats of MDF sealer, I don't know, but this is the way I've done it before. But at the moment, don't look great. But I'll carry on the way I'm going, give everything a coat, and then see how the second coat goes on. Everything's had its second coat now, and looks a lot better. So it had a rub down, that second coat, and it doesn't look bad at all, to be fair. Not considering it's been sort of hand painted. Right, I just got to fit it now. Right, everything's been removed. I don't know if you can see on this wall, but basically
what I've done, I've marked where the opening is and where it's going to go, marked where the TV is, and then obviously the TV bracket's there. That's got to be changed actually for the one that will come in and out. And I'm going to draw a centre line and then work from that centre line out. So the first piece I'll put up will be this top one here, up the top end, and then I'll work out from there. Right, put the laser level on. Now going off the lines I've put on, I've got about 20mm above. This is where the cutout is. But up this end it's about 25mm above. So I'm just presuming is the way I've drawn it is wrong, and I'm going to go to the laser level. And hopefully that'll work in right. First batten's up. Got to go one below that, which will take that middle piece then, which is that piece there. All 4 cross members are on. And then these verticals kind of go up to there. But I made these verticals a little bit short, so I'll probably have to leave, I don't know, probably a 5mm gap between them when they go on. And then what I've got to do is round about the centre here, I want to cut a sort of a 100mm slot out, just in case any cables need going up, and especially down the bottom here, because there'll be some coming up towards the TV. So it's going to be cut out them are. About, like I say, about 100mm slot, just get some cables up. That's it, all the buttons are on. So all I've got to do now is cut these bits out. Looking at this now, I've kind of put them sort of in place, them ones. The bottom one's still got to go on. Saying that, I'm going to flick that side one out because I want a cable going up there, the full length, which does the lighting. But anyway, when I put that other one on that side, it was sort of 10mm out at first. But anyway, I've adjusted it. It was sort of 10mm out at the bottom. So I've levelled it all up and it looks alright now. So I'll just take that one off, flick a cable behind it, and then I think we'll be good to put the bottom one on. We'll get 1 or 2 cables in there as well. That's it, cables are in. Still got to put the units back now. The TV bracket's got to be changed yet as well. Right, put the new bracket on, but as you can see the board here that was originally on, which obviously for the old bracket and stuff, it isn't big enough, so I can't use them holes unless I put another piece of wood on, which I don't want to go down that. But anyway, I put 4 fixings in the top, and then what I've done is drilled through the bracket in a couple of places to put an extra couple of fittings in, and I mean, it should be perfectly okay there. It's held in with these toggles and stuff, so everything should be good. That's it, finally finished. Didn't turn out too bad. Worked out as well as expected, to be honest with you. So anyway, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.